Even though we talked about Entity Framework Core in the beginning of this course, I found it useful to create a dedicated section in this course about Entity Framework Core. This is the first lecture of this new section, and in this lecture we will learn more about Entity Framework Core. So, Entity Framework Core is cross-platform because it can either run on .NET Core, which can be installed on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, and also can run on .NET Framework, that is on Windows operating system. Now, Entity Framework Core can be used with .NET Core applications, but also with .NET 4.5 or later applications. The latest stable release of Entity Framework Core at the time of speaking is version 2.2. Some features of Entity Framework 6 are still missing from Entity Framework Core, but they are being gradually added. Also, Entity Framework Core has some new features that were not added to Entity Framework 6.2. And you can check the comparison matrix for Entity Framework Core and Entity Framework 6.2 by following this link. Entity Framework Core supports two workflows. It supports code first and database first. Code first, as discussed in previous lectures of this course, it is a domain-driven design. So the main idea is that you create the domain classes based on which the database can be created in the background right after you compile and run your application. So you can define your domain classes using either Fluent API or data annotations. Now, when it comes to database first, the idea is that you create a model by reverse engineering an existing database. It is exactly the same process like Entity Framework 6.2. Now, regarding providers, Entity Framework Core provides database providers for many well-known database systems. The full list can be found on this link, and providers can be added via console using this command we see here, or via the well-known NuGet Package Manager console from within Visual Studio. Okay, let's jump to a quick demo and see how we can set up our environment for Entity Framework Core with .NET Core. So here we are in our test environment, ready to create a new project just for enabling Entity Framework Core. The first step is to install .NET Core in case you don't have it already in your system. So if you don't have Entity Framework Core, you can easily download it from the web by opening your internet browser and searching for .NET Core download. Eventually you end up to the official website of .NET Core, and as you can see, the latest stable version of .NET Core is 2.2. And from here, you can either download the runtime, or in case you want to be able to build apps using .NET Core, download the .NET Core SDK, which it is the case for this demo. However, I will not download it because it is already installed. And we will double check about this right after we create our new project in Visual Studio. So we launch Visual Studio. In this case, I launched Visual Studio 2019, and I'm creating a new project. So from here, you can go through the different project templates. I'm going to create a console app .NET Core C#. So I'm selecting this project template, click on Next, and let's give a name for our project. Let's name it EF Core Test 1. Okay, our empty project is being created. And this is our project. So if we go to our project properties, let's check about the availability of .NET Core. Okay, here the target framework for our project, you can see that the latest version of .NET Core that I have in my system is .NET Core 2.1, so I will either use .NET Core 2.1 or download the 2.2 version, install it, and restart Visual Studio in order to be able to use it. So in this case, I will download this new version of .NET Core. So I will exit Visual Studio. And as you can see, I have already started downloading version 2.2 of .NET Core SDK. So right after this is downloaded, I will install this new version. And right after I start Visual Studio 2019 again, I will be able to use this version. So let's wait for a few moments in order for the download to be completed and then install .NET Core 2.2 SDK. So now I'm beginning the installation of .NET Core SDK 2.2. It takes only a few minutes in order for the installation to be completed. So the installation of .NET Core SDK 2.2 has been successfully completed. So we close the dialog. Let's start again Visual Studio and reopen the project we started before. So this is the list of projects. We go to EFCore_test1, click on it, and the project opens again. And here is the last screen we were working on before we exit the project and install .NET Core 2.2. And as you can see here on the target framework list, eventually now we will be able to see .NET Core 2.2 as well. And yes, you can see that now we have this option. So let's change the target framework for our project and change it to .NET Core 2.2. Let's save our project and rebuild. You can see that our project was successfully rebuilt. So now the next step is to install Entity Framework for this project. In order to do this, there are three ways of installing Entity Framework for a project. We can either use .NET Core CLI command prompt. The second option is to use NuGet Package Manager dialog. And the third option is my preferred option, to be honest, is to use NuGet Package Manager console. So we go to Tools, NuGet Package Manager, and we start the console utility. Okay, now with a simple PowerShell command, we will be able to install Entity Framework Core for this project that uses .NET Core as well. So the PowerShell command is install-package Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.SQL Server. We hit enter. And just a few moments later, we can see that Entity Framework Core has been successfully installed for this project and we can start using it. This video is part of my online course, Entity Framework Getting Started. Check the video description for enrolling to the course with a major discount. Thank you for watching this video.